Uncle Rommy business channel. I was thinking about just doing Rommy business, not for any other reason. I was like, maybe we segue out, but then I thought Uncle Rommy business. If I were just someone just watching this, I'd be like, I'm interested. What does this guy got? Some sort of physical store? Nah, online space stuff. But this is a raw behind the scenes of me building out Crusadia in addition to sharing with you guys my entire journey. A lot of you guys that came from the fitness channel are always asking me, it's the number one question I get. What do you do for a living? What kind of businesses have you done? What do you know? And I don't like to share those things until I feel like I've really learned. And you're never ever done. Just like with fitness, you're always learning something. But now I'm at a point where I know I can explain these things, not in a way like optimal stuff systems. And you guys know I have a very particular way of doing things, but it is stupid simple. And I think that what I can bring to the business section of YouTube and just in general is going to be, God willing, a breath of fresh air for you guys. You see a bunch of system stuff, frameworks, X, Y, and Z. This is how you scale to 5K, 10K, 20K, $1 billion a month. And I just find that those things aren't even helpful to me. I think they're just very like clickbaity. People are just optimizing for clicks. But this is meant to just give a real look into different businesses I've done. I'll even talk about from when I got started with content creation. I'll talk about basically the first time I made a sale and then scaling my low ticket, which is basically like just like programs one-off, high ticket coaching, in addition to creating Crusadia as I'm doing right now, and kind of giving you guys behind the scenes, making custom softwares, making apps, all of it. And then in my opinion, what I actually think is even super important is even the mental models and weird formulas that you can use to make the best business decisions and how to think of it to where you almost come to the conclusions. I think a lot of times people will tell you, adopt my model and it's gonna work out for you, which I'm not saying it doesn't work with other people. Everyone has their own process, but a lot of times with these copy and paste guys, just like in fitness, it's no difference in business. It's funny how that works. It's very in sync in this way, but that's not how it works. You should be asking questions that get the best answer for you in the way that you see things fit. That's the point, because at the end of the day, it's an energy game with business. Anyone that's in business will tell you this. The thing that you have the most amount of energy for is the thing that you're going to win at. Even if on paper, the business model's like, this is a tough business model, if it fires you up and it's providing you a day-to-day process and an emotional feedback that's actually giving you something on a spiritual level, you're going to do it bigger than anyone possibly imagines. And it's because everyone's optimizing for dollars in their bank. And so with that, they're actually capped. The people that you see, you're like, man, I want to do it bigger. I kind of want to be a revolutionary in my field. It has to mean more to you than just like fitness, the muscle. It has to provide you something that's like, this is worth more to me than just me after the features. And I think by doing that, you actually set your bar to where you actually grab all of those things on accident. You happen to grab a lot more money. You happen to work with people that you genuinely love. You happen to have a day-to-day process that provides you something when you think in a specific way. And at the end of the day, it's just you finding your mission. I can't do that for you. A lot of people ask me, well, how do I find the mission and what business should I start? It'll tap you on the shoulder. But what you want to do is leverage the tools in your arsenal. What does today's world look like? What are the pieces on the board? And I need to learn the things that are super applicable to today's world and where everything is going. So by the time you find the thing that fires you up, you already have 5 skills you can take advantage of to plug into this thing that means more to you than even your own well-being, as crazy as this sounds. Business is a game, truthfully, that reminds me of sports. But the difference is sports games are typically, 2.5 hours long, 3 hours long, let's say. Business is basically all waking hours of the day, which is why it's super competitive, requires a lot out of you. But if you do it in a way that's providing you something in an emotional fashion, you're going to run the floor with everyone, because everyone else is going to be using discipline. You'll be operating under devotion. Everyone else will be thinking, oh, I'm confident. You'll just have a high level of conviction, just layers deeper. Pause. And like I said, I'll talk about things like failed businesses in the past. I'll have fun stories along the path, but also it's going to be a real behind the glimpse into how I'm creating Crusadia, how I get the right people inside. By the way, Crusadia, for those of you guys don't know, is the first ever digital nation. That's not a joke. Right now, you're probably thinking, that's crazy, bro. You'll see. Just let things unfold as they may and as they will. I'll just keep on doing what I need to day to day, and you guys are gonna watch it all. It's basically gonna be all documented in real time. And truth be told, I'm honestly making this for the Crusaders inside Crusadia, and that way there's business material and things that they can take, because the people inside are they're stellar. There's no other way to put it. It's extremely high level talent, people that have worked multi-million-dollar businesses, people that have worked for Silicon Valley for years, people that have gone to Ivy League schools. And then we have even guys that, even on a physical end, like We have fighters that are looking to get into business. We have a lot. We have singers. Like, it's really an eclectic group of people that have a ridiculous amount of passion. That's who it's for. It's the outliers' homeland, essentially. And when we say the outliers' homeland, basically people who do reject mediocrity, the middle, are just devoted to a mission that means more to them than even themselves. And this is more of an intro video, but I'm gonna be having videos coming out like clockwork, but you're gonna basically see my step-by-step blueprint, what I like to call formula, to creating an independent economy. And I'm being completely serious. You know, a lot of people are like, how are you gonna create your own economy? That's exactly what I'm gonna share in this channel. You're gonna watch it step by step. In addition, obviously, with personal branding and how to actually put out content that you get the type of people that you love to be around and to work with. And then basically me creating culture from the ground up. You know, this is part of building out a country. Country is basically, people call it communities, but communities have to buy into a culture. That's what makes it into a country versus just a community itself. And that's what it's all about. How do you instill these things, which honestly we've already done inside Crusadia, and that way I can start explaining that as I build out more and more. And essentially what we're doing is we're engineering and shifting identity to where we are just leader dispensers, people that are just natural revolutionaries, and how to really lean in on that to then push farther, bigger, better than everyone else in your field, because then you become a one of one. And the people that are competing with you are gonna be competing against you being you, which is essentially impossible because the whole space is filled with copycats. If you just learn how to leverage who you are and then you lead by example, the copycats are just basically going to come in because there's literally never going to be a low supply of copycats. That's what the whole space is. But the thing is, when they're copying you, they're going to sound manufactured, and it actually puts a lot more authority to your name because people are copying your process. And so that's how it happens. Like, by them doing what they do, it's actually going to enhance what you have going on. That's the game. That's how you become a one of one. And then that's how basically you get free marketing from all these other people, because they're borrowing your process. But to wrap this all up, we're gonna talk about audience growth, infrastructure, marketing, team building, sales systems, product ladders, internal economy, leadership hierarchy, how to actually put those things in place to where you have the right people in those spots. No gatekeeping. We're talking about truly becoming the architect of your life. And what you're gonna get is just the actual process of scaling a true sovereign country with legitimate spiritual roots that you feel, that family feel, with also global ambition to have influence on a larger scale. That's what Crusadia is meant to do, and this is exactly what we're doing for everybody inside. Because that way we basically have our group of people that all reign king in their respective crafts, in their respective markets. And that's exactly how you do it. That's how revolutions, that's how change happens. You get a bunch of these dudes together in one room and watch what happens. It's not as complicated as people made it out to be. It's difficult to crack, but when you operate from this, you'll feel compelled to do these things. And that's everything that we're setting up. And this is where the curtain drops. So if that's something you guys are interested in, please subscribe. This is the first video of several, and there's gonna be a lot of coffee talks. And I was gonna give you guys a coffee talk on this one, but with the intro video, I wanna taper you guys along, being like, we need him to sip the coffee one time and then just talk for, 30 minutes to an hour straight. But you guys will get those in the next videos, and then as time goes on, we'll have cigar talks on here. It won't be like boring whiteboard stuff. It'll just be us talking and like legitimately almost like a conversation back and forth, even though I'll be talking to myself. But that's Uncle Rommy. That's what you get with this. Anyways, I love you guys. Crusadia coded. Crusadia fam, you guys know I got your back for life. I love you guys. Uncle Rommy out. Peace.